Not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, we're live. Yeah, okay.
Hi, we're back with Ben Zion and Yael Lehr, who was a student and very close to Reb Shlomo and played a lot of concerts with Shlomo Carlebach. We want to ask you a question about Keter. Tell us about that song and about this idea and Torah.
Okay, what I understand is that Shlomo in his song Keter Yitanu Lecha, right? Shlomo emphasizes the word Yachad, right? Yachad, Yachad, right? Because Shlomo's whole thing was, Chevra, come closer, let's get together. You know, when he would do a concert, everyone would have to come together as one. He couldn't do a concert, everybody was like spread out. You know, I remember one time I saw him in a certain city in America, and the people were kind of stiff type of people, you know, older generation. They weren't so, you know, hip to this type of thing. And they're all sitting like far away from Shlomo. And Shlomo says, you got to come closer, Chevra. They were a little bit like embarrassed, like, we're all going to come closer. Yes, he wants everybody yachad to come together. And Shlomo told us that in the time of the Messiah, if you're walking down the street and you see your friend, you don't say hello, you're going to get a ticket from the police, right? Because everyone's got to come together, yachad, and the world is one. And the amazing thing about that is when we become one, we're reaching that level of the Keter in everybody. Because that light of Keter is just the beginning, Kabbalistically, of Tzimtzum, where we come down and we're all separate, right? So just as we're about to like come down and we're all separate, right? Let's like get together, and that's what it right at Yachad, right? Keter Yitznulecha. Okay, I'm going to play the song for a minute, and then we're going to talk about how is it possible that Keter Yitznulecha, that we're giving Keter to God, because if we're giving Keter to God, that means that God is something which you can give Keter to. That God is not Keter, but God is beyond Keter, and that's what we're going to talk about a bit. Let's just sing a little bit. This is the way I sing Shlomo songs. Is, you know, like, give it beat, give it rock, give it a beautiful kind of like Hashem Elokeinu Ein la la Yachad, 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 Yachad. Keter Lecha Hashem Elokeinu Alakim Monai Amiksra Kibbutz Mata.
Nice.
All right, so let's understand. What is this? Keter Yitznulecha. We're going to give Keter to you, Hashem Elokeinu. Malachim Hamone Mala. The angels which are way beyond, way beyond, way beyond. Im Amacha Yisrael, with the nation of Israel, Kibbutz Mata. Kibbutz Mata. So how is that? Because Keter, right, is something which is below God. God is even beyond Keter. We know nothing about God himself. We only know about how God's midos, his character, comes into this world. And one of them, the first one, is Keter. And we got to know, my friends, when we count the 10 sfirot from Keter, so we have to have 10 sfirot, right? So it's not Keter, Chachma, Bina, Das. You have to take out Das when you count from Keter. It's Keter, Chachma, Bina, Chesed, Gevura, Deferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Malchus. Then you have 10. So when we're Yonik means suckling, when we're pulling from Keter, there is no Das. And so this time of year, as we're after Purim, Ad lo Yada, and Haman was actually shechted. We hung him on the day right after Seder night. Seder night is coming up, right? The day right after, as we start counting the Omer, Haman is shechted up on 50 Amos, right? And he doesn't come down. We begin counting 50 days to Shavuos. What comes down is more Dechai. That is a little bit More means kind of like bitter, that, hey, you thought you were Haman, that man, but in the end you realize, no, we got to grow again and grow again because we really don't have das. We need to learn and grow. We should never think that we know, right? So when we're going to get rid of das, the way to do it is that we're yonik. Yonik means suckling from Keter, okay? From God Himself. Wow, 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 wow. That's way beyond. So we're going to talk about how is it that Am Yisrael, right? Im Amaka Yisrael Kavutze Mata. Am Yisrael and the angels, right, can create this union together. And our sages tell us that a human being, right, is part angel, our higher self, and our lower self is like down here, flesh and blood person, right? And the two come together, it's just like absolutely awesome. And you put the emphasis on kadosh, kadosh, twice. Kadosh means beyond this world. The third one, Kadosh Hashem Tzivakot, Malokal Eretz Kibudo. The third one is Hashem Tzivakot. Now, my Rebbe Mordecai Goldstein, who God gave Mount Zion to, explains that the aspect of God, Hashem Tzivakot, is that God is involved in all our situations. That means Betzalel, you and I, right? God is involved in the fact that we're together. God is involved in every moment, everything that we do, and everything that's happening. There's nothing but God. I mean, I'll tell you a story. I just got an amazing desk that fits perfectly into where my books are, and I needed a certain size. I went to many stores, and they didn't have the right size. I needed like the older, small kind with drawers on the side, and I had the perfect picture of it. And I went to Rosh Pina. I live in Safat. I went to Chatzor. I went to the stores around Safat. No one had it. They said, okay, we can build it for you, 500 shekels. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. You know? So I said to Hashem, please, a prayer. Please, Hashem, just let me see it somewhere. Someone who doesn't need the desk, put their desk outside and I'll fix it up. And just sure enough, immediately the next day, right, I'm driving on this dirt road right behind the Arizal's mikvah, right? There's a dirt road that you can drive your car on. It's very bumpy, right? They don't fix the road so quickly here. And lo and behold, I come right after they threw out an old desk, which is exactly the desk I wanted. It had to fit exactly where I needed it because I couldn't move my bookshelves anymore, right? Exactly in there. Wow. I had to fix it up a little bit, but my gosh, I realized that God heard my prayers. God hears our prayers. God is completely, completely with us every single split second moment. Hashem Sivakot. But the emphasis of Kadosh is Parush, beyond this world. So Kadosh, twice energy of like beyond, and then Kadosh Hashem Tzibakot Malokal or Arts Kibudo. Even though you're beyond this world, God, you fill this world. Every aspect of our lives is involved with God. And this week's parsha starts Vayikra, right? But Yakar means just kind of happened, like Mikra. So in Hebrew, the word for coincidence in Hebrew is Mikra, happening, but Mikra has it in it, the letters of this week's Parsha, Kara. There is no coincidence. God is calling out to us every moment, trying to help us to reach our potential, to grow, to do what the world's about, to do your own personal stuff, to know what is your obligation for your life in this world. Who are you? What are you? Everything is to help get us there. And we have books, right? Like the Ramchal starts at the path of the just. The foundation, a foundation is knowing what is your purpose in your world, right? So now let's talk about how is God Himself beyond Keter, and what's happening about that. In the Jewish year, we should know that there's a concept called Yisirat Havlad, the formation of the fetus. And from Rosh Hashanah and from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, there's two sides to the Jewish year. If you count 40 days, right, from Rosh Hashanah, you get to Yud Cheshvan. If you count 40 days from Nisan, you get to Yud Iyar, right? Yud Cheshvan, Yud Iyar. Both these are parallel dates, right? Now, our sages learn that there's 40 days for the Yitzirat Havlad. What's happening on Rosh Hashanah is that it's the conception of Yechida, which is Yitzchak Avinu, is conceived. Sarah Imenu conceived her son Yitzchak on Rosh Hashanah, right? Conception. Then it takes 40 days for that conception to come into some type of form. But Yitzchak is called Yechida. Take Yechidacha, the one you love. That's the hint that Bereshis correlates to our Sodov Yechida. There's 5 books of Moses, starting with Bereshis Yechida all the way down to Nefesh and Devarim, right? So now, our sages learned that it takes 40 days for the formation of this Yechida. Keter and Yechida are one and the same, okay? It's the kotso of the Yud. So now, that 40-day period before then means that there's no light coming down. There's no Keter yet. There's no formation. That's what we're in right now. On this side of the year, Nisan till Yud Iyar, and Rosh Hashanah, 1st of Tishrei, till the 10th of Cheshvan, is this period of Yetzirat Havlad. Now, how do we learn this? We learn this because one of our imahot, Leah, Imenu, she was pregnant with her 7th son. She realized that, wow, I already have 6 children to contribute to the 12 tribes. Each of the handmaids had 2. That's 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 6, right, is 10. That means my sister can also at least contribute the amount that the handmaids contributed, at least 2. But if I'm pregnant again now with the 7th boy, oh my gosh, what an embarrassment to my sister that she won't be able to contribute even as much as the handmaids. She's going to contribute less than the handmaids, just 1 son. So Leah prayed that her son that she was pregnant with would become a girl. And her sages scream, what's going on? You can't pray for something to go against reality. I mean, she's already pregnant. That's called a tefillat shav, a prayer for nothing. Like, you're not allowed to do that. So her sages answered no. Leah was able to do that because she prayed within the first 40 days of conception. From conception, 40 days onwards, in that time period, anyone today whose wife is pregnant, and you can pray for it to be a girl, to be a boy, because it's not formed yet. So that's called Yetzirat Havlad, 40 days for the Yetzirat, the formation of the Vlad. So that means that the beyond, right, praying to God beyond Keter is what it's really all about. Because by doing that, we're going to affect the formation that comes into this world. And my friends, it's basically the difference between us and the rest of the world. Because the rest of the world prays to God that's already a formation, right? God in heaven, right? And they even put a form to God. And it's like, really, idol worshiping. We're beyond form. We pray to God beyond this world, completely way beyond. Another one of Shlomo's songs, we hear it in Shlomo's song to Esainai, right? From King David. Esainai Elori where is me? Oh, say, Shemayim Baaretz, Tanaim My holy friends, King David is telling us Esaya Nala reminder is Rima Im Hashem Ose Shemayim V'Aretz, meaning we are connecting to God who is creating the heavens and earth. That's why, my holy friends, on Rosh Hashanah, the highest prayer is to God. Before this world, before the heavens and the earth, this world is Yavan. Yud Vav Nun. Yud is the heavens already. We're praying, the Jewish people are praying, Rosh Hashanah, the head of the Shinui, the new change is going to come into the world. We're praying to the beyond. Also, this time of the year, Nisan for 40 days, we really have to connect to the beyond. So Shlomo told us, everybody's seen that video, that when it comes to inaugurating the king, right, you have to use a major. What's the song? What's the Shlomo songs are in minor? The angels, sing to the angels, okay, you can sing in minor. When it comes to inaugurating the king, it's got to be major. That's why Shlomo says, Rosh Hashanah we go. The crown. When you're inaugurating the king, the crown, right? People say the corona, right, is the coronation, right? So that's what's happening this time of year. No coincidence that the corona problem is happening now. We're ready to coronate God. Because when we're out of Keter and beyond Keter this time of year, from Nisan till, right, Yud Iyar, both sides of the year, Rosh Hashanah till Yud Cheshvan, we are able to change who we are because we're not locked into something. Once we've got Keter, like Rashi says, how is it that God took us out of Mitzrayim, right? Early. It was going to be 410 years, right? And it was only 200 and something. Well, how did that happen? Well, Rashi says, very simple. 400 years because we started counting from the birth of Yitzchak. Oh, what does that mean? Because the birth of Yitzchak is Yechida. Once you have a Yechida, you've got a locked-in consciousness. For a Jew, non-Jews don't have Yechida. Once you have that Keter, that light of Keter, you're ready beginning because the Keter is above the Yud. On the side of Rosh Hashanah, right? On the side of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, that Keter is above the Vav. We're going to be creating a new Vav case soon, right? As we go into Sefer Bamidbar. But all of Vayikra, right? Basically, most all of Vayikra, we're just beginning the Keter, and it's not even at the Yud until we get to Chag Shavuos. We are beyond, and you can change yourself. You can bring down a new light, become someone new to serve God better. You got to push away that old guy, gone, and come back and be a new you, a better you, a new Mishkan 011741, right? The new you every year, because Mishkan is mashkon, it's a deposit. Haneshemot hapikudot lach, right? It's every year renewed. We can become a new person. So Vashti couldn't stand in front of the king because she grew a tail, right? You don't want to have a Tail, and you don't want to have a Tale, a tail, a past, new, clean, pure light. That's what the Messiah is going to teach us. New, clean, pure light every moment. Out of your Mitzrayim, we were enslaved by the children of Ham. The letters Moach, right? B'nai Ham, Moach. People are enslaved. Brain cells, right? Enslaved in their brain with that. Get out to a new light. That's why Shlomo's Nigunim pulled everybody out of their Mitzrayim. Zusha tells a story. He went to the jail with Shlomo. Shlomo was like playing for the inmates, right? And after an hour, Shlomo had the inmates dancing with the guards here in Israel. Everybody dancing together. Everyone out of their Mitzrayim. What are you? What's being? No. Let's just go up higher before all this stuff down here in this world. We're going to bring the highest light to this world. So when it comes to Keter, the song we just sang in the beginning is also in a major key. Keter, see? E major. Keter yitnu lecha Hashem Elokeinu Malakim Amone Yachad, 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 Yachad.
So,
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
If you can tell us maybe generally about Shlomo's mission. Shlomo's mission was to connect people, like he was really bringing people together. What was he doing?
Shlomo's mission was to connect people, right? By forgetting about who you are in this world and by connecting everybody to God. So by connecting everybody to God, that's how we come together. And that's how the 12 tribes are camped around the Mishkan, right? 4 sides, right? The inside is the Mishkan. I mean, like we all had different flags. We all had different colors, flags, right? We all had different tents. They just tell us that the entrance of the tents were opposite each other, like, facing away from each other, opposite, but you couldn't, like everyone had their individual, special, unique lives. But the fact that we were all centered with all those different flags around the Mishkan, that's what made us one. And the deepest truth is that the Mishkan is Jacob. So by connecting to Jacob, and that means Yaakov Avinu inside of us, Zed Dor Dorashav Mavakshev Panecha Yaakov Sela. This is the generation which is searching for that inside panim of Jacob Sela. What is that all about? Because Yaakov is who? He's a Talmud Chacham. So by connecting us to Torah, Shlomo was connecting us to Torah. That's what's really going on. And then people didn't realize it. Like maybe it's just free and this and that, right? Hey, cool, No. Shlomo was connecting us through Torah, but he was giving us, as Reb Pupka said once at a yahrzeit before Shabbos, before the yahrzeit of Shlomo at the Kotel, he said that Shlomo's nigunim brought us right up to that highest level of European Torah that Shlomo worked for and worked and worked and worked, and so many Talmidei Chachamim worked for it. You can get it with just an injection of an amazing nigun, right? Right. Because Shlomo's Nigunim just took you out and brought you to that highest level of Torah. And the most amazing thing is that I was learning Torah for like 4 years from a rabbi named Shas Cohen, Rabbi Yehoshua Cohen. He knows the whole Torah in our generation like by heart. And he was teaching on Mount Zion. Now he's been teaching at Chot Shebekesed for many years. When he was teaching us, I realized what's going on. Like he's the person who reminds me of Shlomo Korbach more than anybody. And here's a straight rabbi that knows the whole Shas by heart. You can ask any page. He knows where everything is. It's mind-blowing. And for me, he's the most similar to Rabbi Shlomo Korbach. I mean, because you felt the truth of that European Torah and that love for every Jew, which it vibrates inside of you when you learn Torah on this level. Shlomo had that, and Shlomo gave that to us. And that's, according to your question, Betzalel, that's how Shlomo brought us together, was by connecting us to the Torah. So Yaakov Avinu, which is Torah, he said to his sons, the Midrash says, to his 12 sons, that when you take my coffin out of Egypt, Yaakov Avinu never died, but they kind of make believe like he did, like they didn't want him to the Egyptians to worship him. So they embalmed him anyway, right? And he's in a coffin, right? But he never died. That light was still there. That light was in the soul of Mordechai Goldstein. That's why God gave Mordechai Goldstein, Rabbi Goldstein, Rosh Hashiva, Mount Zion, because inheritors of the base Yaakov are going to come to receive their inheritance of Jacob. That's who he is. And his 9 sons and 3 major students make up the souls of the 12 tribes. Okay, we're going to find out more about that because it's a major part of Yimon Mashiach to know what's going on. Mount Zion. God gave the Goldsteins Mount Zion. But Jacob told, according to the Midrash, his 12 sons, I want 3 of you on this side of my coffin, 3 on you on this side, 3 on this side. That's 3 times 4 sides, 12. And you know what Rashi says? Rashi says that Jacob said to them, and you know what? The way you're formation around my coffin is exactly how you're going to be forming around the holy Mishkan, the tabernacle. So that's what's happening, people. We're building that Mishkan throughout the Jewish year, and the center point is Jacob. And you know what? Jacob crossed his hands when he blessed Ephraim and Manasseh. And it has to be that way because if Jacob's in the middle, I'm going to show you a chart. Well, you've got over here, you've got Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin, which is Tishrei, the 7th month, the 8th month, right? Manasseh, 8 is Shmona, and Manasseh is also the letter Shmona, and it's the letters Neshama. That's when we're reading again about Yitzchak's birth. You start your Jewish Neshama, Yechida. And then you have Benjamin, Kislev, right? The 9th month. Well, if Jacob's here, where I am, in order he'd have to switch his hands like that to put his right hand onto Ephraim, coming that way, right? So it's an amazing thing, people. But the way that Rabbi Shlomo Korbach was bringing Achdus to this world is by getting us out of our Mitzrayim with the Nigunim. Because when you sing a Nigun, right, you leave your Mitzrayim. And our sages tell us that Pesuki Dizmiros are supposed to be that way. That's why Shlomo's Kabbalat Shabbat is so important, right? Tir Bala is Keter, right? Your wife becomes your Keter. Gam b'simcha v'tzalamava Tokemunei amsekula Burikala, burikala. Burikala, burikala. Lechana dilikrakala, Pene Shabbat unekabla. Lechana dilikrakala, Pene Shabbat nekabla. So Nigun, you start singing. Well, Suke is mira, masmirim, or scissors in Hebrew, right? That cut away the bad parts on plants, which cause the healthy part of the plant to die. You know, those old leaves on the flowers and the plants, right? If you leave them on, they can cause the new blossoming part of you to die, God forbid. So you got to get out of that old and into the new. Rebbe Mordechai Goldstein told us that in the springtime, it's a biological fact that we are building new brain cells. Everything's new. You got to get into new right now. Because again, our sages tell us that Vashti couldn't stand in front of the king, which means HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because she grew a tail. What do you do about your tail? What if your tail is off? Well, that's how Moshe Rabbeinu was told by God to turn the Nachash, Yetzer Hara, back into a connection from heaven to earth, a staff. Grab the tail and do it right this time. So I want to bless everybody. I want to bless Betzalel that you are helping to help Shlomo to continue that light to bring us all together. And I see Betzalel that's your greatest wish. And from your name, obviously you understand the Mishkan because it was Betzalel who was the artist who built the Mishkan together with Elihav. Meaning you got to have down here in this world too. So I'm going to bless everybody. We shouldn't give birth to nothingness. We say every day in the world of Zion, to nothingness. Because what's nothingness? Bahala. What is somethingness? it's got to be the words Behala, the letters is Lehava, which is the flame of the menorah, that's Yosef, and Bilha, the mother of Dan, right? All the way to the physical. We need to be Lehava from beyond, but not just Lehava, and not just Bilha down here, the handmaids, right? The physical, but the two from beyond to this world. Reb Shlomo Karbach was connecting us to the beyond this world. So I want to bless us all to realize the true purpose of Reb Shlomo Karbach, why he came into this world, was to bring Achdus, and his name, Shlomo. His name Shlomo is peace, right? To make peace in all of Israel. It's only Shlomo who can bring that peace, and the essence of peace is shlemut. Lead to you be shalem. I say, how you doing? Shlomo would always ask us, how you doing, holy brother? And he'd know, are you connected? Are you connected from your higher self all the way down to the earth, right? So play a quick song that's one of mine, but it has to do with this concept of connecting what you know down to the ground. Because if we're doing that, then you're happy. And by the way, the new psychology for couples, right, is not to get into what's going on with them, but no, each individual, get to your higher self and bring it down. And you gotta wake up, jump into your day. Everybody's gonna smile and say, how are you doing now? Are you connecting what you know down to the ground? It really ain't so hard to bring your true dreams into reality. Just got to work hard and pray, and it can make your dreams come true. It really ain't so hard to bring your dreams into reality. Just got to work hard and pray, and it can make your dreams come true. Okay, everybody, just to touch on this time with the corona, which is coronate the king, because we are beyond Keter right now in the Jewish year. Again, the times are changing. From Nisan till Yud Iyar, we can coronate the king, and you can move the old you out of the way, and everyone has a chance to be with themselves in your house and work on yourself and become a deeper you, come out to share with the world, B'ezrat Hashem, the real oneness, right? B'Tzalel, soon in our days. Okay, thank you. Okay, shalom everybody from Northern Israel, Safat. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rabbi Ben-Sion Eliyahu Lerer, and I learned a tremendous amount from Rabbi Shlomo Karbach. He wasn't my only teacher. I was one of the straight guys who went into straight yeshiva also. But you know what? It didn't cut my wings. I kept growing them back over and over again. God bless us all. Shalom, everybody from Safat, Northern Israel. Okay, so ending my stream.